right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Downtime in the Ring. Another episode, another interview. And this time, I have a very young entrepreneur, a wrestler who is going to make waves in the future. I can say that because we're both still very young, and I don't want to realize that I'm in my mid 20s. So I have Adrian Alexander this episode. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. You keep sucking up to me like that and keep calling me young, and we'll be doing great.
Oh, oh, heck yeah, man. So overall, what I've learned is that you are the owner of a company. You are going to be my second owner. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes. I actually own a company called Elite Wrestling Alliance.
Okay. So walk me through that because people our age and close to it don't typically own a company that isn't, and I hate to say it like this, no no shoot on this, but isn't in a backyard. Like your company is a legit, has an audience at a venue with a all-star roster. Like how did that happen? Like how did that happen?
Well, to be completely honest, it kind of just all fell into place. Of course, my dream, my biggest thing about wrestling is the writing end. The stories, how everything comes together. And I've always said, oh, one day I want to run my own wrestling show. Well, the pieces all fell together, and I ended up getting a call, and the gentleman said, "Hey, look, I'm looking to get out of it. I know, you've always said you wanted to do this. Here's what I've got. Here's the price." And it definitely didn't come in the time of my life that I thought it did, but everything just worked out so perfectly. And next thing you know, here we are. I went from you know, just being an indie wrestler trying to make a name for myself to owning a wrestling company. And from there we transitioned. I've had a lot of great guys around, great guys and girls around me, helping me form what is Elite Wrestling Alliance. It started as just somebody was like, oh, this would be a really cool name, and the next thing you know, we had a logo, and then we were looking for buildings. We found a venue. I started shopping for talent. Of course, the nice thing about me wrestling as much as I do is I'm around a lot of these great athletes. And so, I can be like, hey, I've got this going on. What if you also came and worked for me? So, one thing led to another. And next thing you know, we're here at Elite Wrestling Alliance. We've been running since April. We're just now starting. We've had a lot of kinks and stuff to work out. We're just now starting to get content out on the internet. Our first match from July's show was posted last week. It is an awesome match. If you get a chance, you need to go check it out. It is great.
I watched
One
it.
of really three of my. Did you watch it? It
Yeah, I
is
did.
awesome. Three of my favorite guys right now on the indie scene. Just absolutely tore it down. And that's not taken away from anybody else in the show, but I came in with Carson Drake. We came into we started training at the same time at the same place. And he's a dear friend of mine. Oliver Gunner, he and I are also really good friends. We tagged together for a long time in just outside of Louisville in Jeffersonville, Indiana. We were a tag team for quite a while there. So, and then Matt Atreya is a phenomenal athlete. I have wrestled him more times than I care to say. But all those guys had a phenomenal match. It's a great match. Of course, this week we'll be releasing another match. We'll be doing, I think we'll be doing three matches leading up to the next show. But then the following show should get uploaded. Each match from the show should get uploaded throughout the month until the following show. So it's been great.
So what is your goal currently? And of course, like we're going to focus heavily right now on just Elite is what we'll focus on.
Absolutely.
And I want to know, like,
Absolutely.
like what's your goal going in, say in the next 5 years? Are you going to try and run weekly shows with a camera crew and trying to get um another staple published at the begin in Kentucky? Or what is your ultimate goal? What are you trying to do?
My ultimate goal, and this has been my pitch from day one, is to have something in Kentucky that is professional, is enjoyable, is something that as a fan, when you walk in the building, you go, wow, this is an event. This isn't just, oh, I went down to the local bingo hall and there's wrestling and no knock to any of those guys at all. But I want this to be an event. It's something you get excited to go see week in and week out. And add the wrestlers, I want them to be excited to come to this. I want them to, they love the environment, they love what they're doing, because that's what this is all about. At the end of the day, this is exactly what this is all about. It is making sure the fans are entertained, making sure the wrestlers are having fun. There are so many times that I've went to shows or I've been a part of stuff, or I've heard people talk about something like, oh man, I got to go down here, they're getting, going to do this and do that, and they don't treat me right, and they don't do this and they don't do that, and it honestly sucks the life out of you as a wrestler to have to have to do that. You don't have to do anything, but to feel like you have to do something like that. So I wanted to make such a great environment that really played to everybody. Um, Down the line, of course, I think we have a great product. We can only keep getting better, keep polishing, keep making things crisper. I would like in the next 5 years, my goal would be to have a company that is running no more than once a month. My reasoning behind that is the more the more you start putting the product out there, the more people see of it, the less people want to see of it. You just give them a little bit at a time, and people, it builds the excitement between each show. And that's really what I love the idea of course I'm a big story guy, so I love the
Yeah.
idea of furthering stories each month, but I don't want to make them so close that we kind of overstay our welcome. So I like the 1 month format we're doing now, but I would love to get to something to where we are able to get all that content out there online, to where people that aren't local can enjoy exactly what we're doing, because this isn't just for people that can come to these shows. It's for everybody to be able to enjoy this. I want this to be something that we've got the GCWs and I'm blanking out right now, the revolvers, and the stuff that people keep up with. It's indie at the end of the day, but it's something that everybody across the country can keep up with. And that's what I want to eventually grow. It may take 5 years, it may take 10 years, it may take 15 years to get to that point. But that's what I want. I want something that anybody in the Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Tennessee area, they want to come see. It is a spectacle. As a wrestler, if you're in this area, you want to be on this show because you know how much it means. You see the place packed out. You see the fans and how they're tied onto everything going on. That's where you want to be as a fan. That's where you want to be. You want to go see that. You want to travel to come see that. So if that brings us to maybe doing some kind of tour down the road where we hit several different places in Kentucky, or we expand outside that, the possibilities are endless. But that's where I'm growing. It's a very long-winded explanation to your question. That's what I am looking for. We're starting as just a professional organization to make sure we engage the fans, and we're just going to keep growing from there. The more product we can put out there, the more we keep doing what brings the fans in. I don't want to get stale. I don't want to do the same thing over and over and over. I want to expand. I want to grow everything. We bring in new talent. We bring in this, we bring in that, the lights, the glam, the fat, everything that makes professional wrestling professional wrestling. We've got good wrestling matches. We've got great stories. We've got the entertainment from start to finish engages the people.
I really like that answer. I like that answer, and I think it's because of how young you are is why that you have that mentality. And I want to say that our generation is kind of in that golden era of wrestling, to where we know what to do and how to post online and how to market, wrestlers themselves or
Absolutely.
companies. And you're starting to get into that. So you started this in April, correct? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we ran our first show in April. We started the wheels turning really first of the year. We started doing announcements, talent announcement, roster announcements, stuff like that leading in. But we started our first show in April.
So I don't know how many people have asked you. I don't know if anybody's asked you, but I'm going to ask you just right here. How does it feel? How does it feel? How does everything feel? You can take 1 second and just step back and be like, wow, this is amazing or overwhelming or whatever. How does it feel?
It is surreal. It is surreal. I'm not going to lie. It is probably one of the most overwhelming things I have ever done in my life. There are so many factors, so many little things that you don't realize that go into a wrestling show and just making it. Of course, I'm very OCD, I'm very perfectionist. I want everything to be exactly the way I want it, and as a result I micromanage everything. But there are so many just little odd and end things that you don't realize that go on to create a wrestling show. So it has been overwhelming, but in a good way. It's been so rewarding, especially to see how we've grown, to see the product start to get out there, to hear people talk about how much they enjoy the show. That it's one of the best feelings. Yeah.
How like what is your minimum for trying to bring on a wrestler? Do you have a certain amount of ring time that you want them to go through, or is it more who train them? What do you look at as a booker?
Um, it's very, very situational. I definitely, the first things I'm around a lot of these guys that are on my show. I have been for a while. So it's I haven't really had to I haven't really had to just, book somebody due to their resume or who trains them. I've seen a lot of this guy's work. I do, if I'm reaching out to somebody, obviously I want to know who trained them. I want to take a look at their work. My biggest thing, there are a million and one wrestlers that can go out there and do wrestling moves. What I look for, whether I'm, scouting somebody brand new or I'm watching somebody that I've seen before, but I just really want to take a good look at them before I'm like, hey, I want you on my show. I see how they engage with the people. Are they entertaining or are they just out there just doing moves, just out there to collect the paycheck and go home? And that's my biggest thing. And that's not a knock at all to your more super indie style wrestlers. There's a place for all of it, but that is personally what I look for is professionalism and how they interact with the fans, with the crowd, with the people. Are they telling a story? Are they keeping engaged with the crowd, or are they just going through the motions?
There's there's a young girl, she's up and coming in the Carolinas. I'd recommend you to her for your next show, especially if you have a little tough time with female talent. Her name's Erica Damia. The only reason why I say that is because it seems like a lot of indie promotions lately still have trouble, and a lot more females are going to all female promotions. But
Yeah,
definitely
it
somebody
is
who
a
I recommend to you.
Absolutely. I'm pretty familiar with her. I haven't watched a lot of her work, but I think I follow her on social media and stuff. I've seen a lot of her stuff. She's got a very, very unique look. And she's I definitely would be interested. Of course, Kentucky being the state that it is, you have to get to be a wrestler in Kentucky, you've got to get licensed in the whole 9 yards. But if that's something she's willing to do, I would definitely be very interested. We had our first women's match on the last show. Um, Women's wrestling, especially in Kentucky, is it's not a hotbed, and as a result, a lot of your good women's talent goes elsewhere to wrestle. But which is fair. They want to go where where the crowds are, where the money is, where the other good female talent is. And that's not saying there isn't good female talent in Kentucky. There definitely is, but it's definitely not the hotbed that it should be. And that's really something that I would love to change with Elite Wrestling Alliance. There are a lot of wrestling companies that have a women's match right now, especially in Kentucky. Women's wrestling it's an oddity. You have a women's match in your card. Oh, that's the big like. But I don't think that's how it should be. And hear me out. Women's wrestling should be you have men on the card, you have women on the card. It shouldn't be, oh, we've got a women's match. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you go from it being an oddity to equality. So my big thing is instead of just having, oh, we're gonna have a women's match, and it's not, I only had one women's match on my last show, but I want to be able to build up a women's division. You see what I'm saying? I want to be able to have, we're not just having a women's match just to say we had a women's match. I want it to be you've got your men wrestlers, you got your women wrestlers, we got storylines, we got everything spinning off of it because that's how it should be. We've got women that are busting their asses out here, and the best we can give them, and it's again, no knock on anybody, but it's just the problem that I see with a lot of these Kentucky promotions is that the best we can give them is a 1 5-minute segment where, oh, we had a women's match, yay, I don't think that's the way it should be. So I'm really trying to figure out it. It's a lot of hoops and stuff to go through, and a lot of logistical business stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I would love to get to the point where we have a women's division. We've got storylines. We've got people in and out of there that are reputable. Can't talk tonight. Reputable wrestlers that are getting ring time. They're getting TV time. They're able to showcase themselves as talent instead of just an oddity.
So where do you classify Elite right now? There are some people who are, and right now here in New Mexico, we have schools. We don't regularly run shows yet. One school in one of the bigger towns is about to start doing it regularly, so I'm excited to see what they do. But like the next state over is Texas. You have some of the smaller promotions who have 10 people in the crowd and think that they should be matched up with the big guys. And then you have people who run 100 people in the arena and still think that they aren't quite there yet. So where do you classify Elite? And this isn't a way for me to knock at the company. No, this is a way for me, basically for you to show that you get your flowers, how much you love
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, we're definitely not where I would like us to be. The guys and girls that are wrestling are busting their ass. They're doing an awesome job. We have a great product we're putting out there. Unfortunately, with as new as we are, and with I'll take some of the blame as well with some of the things that I'm learning and progressing, and maybe I'm not getting out there and promoting as much as I should. We definitely are not bringing in the people that we should and will one day. We're definitely in the 100 people range right now. We fluctuate. Our first show was pretty good. Our second couple of shows kind of fell back off, and then July picked back up again. I definitely nowhere near my target. What I know we can draw, it's just a matter of figuring out exactly how we need to promote ourselves. What advertisement do we need to do in order to get in front of the right people? Because Facebook is a great place. Social media in general is a great place, but not all of your people are going to see it. If I'm not friends with you on Facebook, then I'm not going to see what you share, right? So we can all share a poster on Facebook, but it only goes so far. I want this product to be something that your casual fan that watches WWE on the weekly sees this poster hanging up in a gas station somewhere and goes, "Oh, I want to come see that." Now they're hooked. Now they're following us on social media. Now they're sharing this stuff. Now it's spreading. But it's all a game of promoting and figuring out exactly what works in each place. Right now we're running a show in Frankfort, Kentucky, which is the capital of Kentucky. It's not a huge city, but it's the a lot of people come in and out of Frankfurt. So traffic to see what we're doing. Maybe it's putting stuff on billboards. Maybe it's postering in the right places. Maybe it's setting up. We set up a booth at they have a local festival every year called the Capital Expo. So maybe it's doing that more often, getting the product out there to make sure we grow. So right now, I'm very hard on myself. I think we're doing great. I think the wrestlers are doing an awesome job. But I think as a promoter myself, I need to find out exactly how to put that product out there to where we can get in front of more people. Because right now, we're not reaching that target audience. And I think as we progress, as we reach more people, my goal is gonna keep growing. So we're probably never going to reach my target. But you see what I'm saying? I think right now we fall in the, we're drawing a decent amount of people, but could we draw more? Absolutely.
So my final question for Elite before we get into you guys is, have you ever thought of just crossing the state line and heading over to Nashville? Because I know you shouldn't be that far away from it.
No, I'm about 3 hours from Nashville. No, to be honest, my baby, so to speak, is Kentucky. I love the history of wrestling around here. We had Smoky Mountains, NWA. We had all this history of this independent wrestling from back in the day, and we have fallen. Kentucky used to be such a hotbed for professional wrestlers, people coming out of Kentucky, and I feel like we've really fallen off that. Of course, we've got Alex Zane, we've got Ricochet, we've got people like that, and I'm missing a lot of people, so nobody shoot me, please. But we do have a lot of really great talent that has come out of Kentucky. But I feel like on an indie level, a lot of times when you think, oh, Kentucky wrestling, you're like, oh yeah, that thing, And I really want to build that back up. One company's not going to change the whole state, but if we become that place that everybody wants to go see and wants to go, maybe that everybody else, kind of has to rise up to that as well. We build the whole area up with talent, with production, with how everything's ran to where everything in the area looks professional, is professional. It's somewhere you want to go to watch professional wrestling. So, is it something that might happen one day? Absolutely. But for right now, I want to grow Kentucky wrestling.
Okay. See, that's what I love the most is when people who don't have it regularly in their state are doing everything they can to bring wrestling to it. We suffered the same thing with New Mexico. And I interviewed a man a few weeks back named Gino Rivera, who is changing wrestling for the state of New Mexico. And I can't wait to see what it does. I can't wait to see what you do. I'm very excited. I'm definitely gonna have to come visit because I want to see what you guys do. I want to see a show. You keep hyping it up.
Absolutely.
I need to see a show.
You need to come see it. This is something that is only going to go up from here. I'm so excited. We've got so many things in the work. We got people coming in. We've got matches that are set up. I've got stuff set up a year down the road that is getting slowly built together. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. We're doing a little bit of rebuilding and rephasing right now. I'm finding, like, as we go along, I'm finding a lot of stuff that I'm needing to do differently. But all in all, we would love to have you come down sometime. I'm sure you follow a lot of these guys and girls that we've had on the shows, and you've seen their work. I mean, it's phenomenal who we've got and what we've got going on. I'm excited. I keep saying it over and over, but I'm so excited for what's coming next.
Oh, I would love to have like a round table with you guys, is where I just put a mic in the ring and just let each of you guys talk for a certain amount of time and just give you your flowers is what I would love to do. That'd definitely be something cool. So, who or what created your gimmick, created you, created the person that you are, that inspired you to become the person you are in the ring? Everybody has something unique. I've had people say Doink the Clown to an anime character to the Legend of Zelda to everything that you could imagine. So I want to see what created you, what inspires you.
So my wrestling start is very, very unique. When I first decided I wanted to start becoming a professional wrestler, I had my heart dead set. I'm a huge fan of the spooky gimmicks, if you will.
Okay.
I Undertaker when I was growing up was my favorite wrestler of all time. I love the Demon Finn Balor gimmick. Of course, I'm blanking out on everything else right now. I was so dead set on doing this spooky ear, gimmick. And when I first started wrestling, it was like shot down immediately. I was pretty down about it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, man, I was gonna do so good with this. And they're like, no, just work on what we have for you, and we'll grow from there. Um, so the when I first this is pulling the curtain back right here. When I first started wrestling, um, I was given this persona, if you will, of this rich Saudi Arabian prince. And it was, it took me a while to get adjusted to figuring out exactly how I needed to portray that. I took a lot at the time. One of the guys that helped me out a lot was a man by the name of Scott Diamond. And he was the man. He was always dressed to the nines. He always wore his suit and his fedora. No matter where he went, he was always wearing a suit 24/7. And he was always just so like proper and rich, and that was just how he was. That was Scott Diamond, right? So I started trying to emulate that in what I did. This rich son, son of a billionaire oil tycoon, the whole nine yards. And this went on for probably about a year and a half. And I finally came to the realization that I was not comfortable doing what I was doing. So I decided to tweak it. I liked some of the aspects of what I was doing, but I didn't like everything that was going on. And I wanted to do something, that was given to me. That was something that somebody said, hey, you do this. I was training, that's what you do. But I decided I wanted to take a different approach to the same idea. So Adrian Alexander was born. He's still, we're not pretending that the old person wasn't still there. We're just growing, we're expanding. We're not just the son of a prince now. It's so much bigger than that. I am my own man now. Adrian Alexander's his own person. He does what he wants. He takes what he wants because that's Adrian Alexander. We've expanded so much more off of that. It's really I've just kind of morphed this person. It's like watching a baby grow up. You know, we started with just this one idea, and we keep expanding on it and growing and making it less one dimensional, and everything has layers. And really, just by going and watching me wrestle one time, you're not really going to see all these layers, but the layers that have grown make me Adrian Alexander. Now, when I walk into a wrestling show, I am 1000% Adrian Alexander. I'm not just this one dimensional character that you see on TV. It allows me to do things to the best of my abilities, because now there's so many. I have created my own person now. I'm not just playing a character on TV. I am Adrian Alexander.
Okay. Okay. So now I'm figuring you out. I love doing that. That's probably one of my favorite parts about this, especially meeting somebody for the first time, is I get to just pick your brain and figure out who you are. And I'm starting to connect a lot of unique wrestlers to what you're saying. And one of them that I'm thinking of, and if you have any associate, like if you look at what he does, if you don't, that's fine. It's just who I can attach my idea of you to, and that's a lot of Chris Jericho is what
I see. Yes,
is
yes.
what I'm
I am a
hearing.
huge Chris Jericho fan. Absolutely. I took a lot of watched a lot of Chris Jericho. I A lot of what I do was taken from Seth Rollins. Um,
Really?
I everybody brings that similarity. They're like, "Oh, you look like Seth Rollins. You wear the tights and you have the red jacket. You look like Seth Rollins." But a lot of how I more less Shield Seth Rollins and more like 2015 on, um especially how I try to structure, like, if I'm cutting a promo for somebody, they want me to do a video. Usually a lot of my mannerisms and stuff is a lot like the over the top, it's eccentric kind of stuff I've taken from him. Chris Jericho definitely was a big influence. The flash and the arrogance, um, the general, I'm better than you kind of attitude definitely came a lot from Chris Jericho.
I can tell. So what you explained is what he's explained in his show, in his teachings, in his book, is you just took this, turned it up to 11 and said, okay, this is who I'm going to be and you can't stop me. And
Yeah.
that's what I love. That is what I love, is when somebody will own it no matter what they're thrown at, is they're going to make it the best they can. I love hearing that, because there are a lot of people who don't, and they struggle with it for a long time. And instead you were
What
like, okay.
blows
Oh no, go.
what
You're good.
blows my mind, what blows my mind is independent wrestlers that they focus, and again, this is not a knock on anybody or any kind of wrestling style, but they focus so much on the wrestling end of things and they lose sight of who they are as a person. And that's what sells you as a wrestler. That is what sells you to the fans, to other promoters, to other wrestlers, who you are as a person. If you're one dimensional, if you're a piece of paper with a name on it, but you can go out there and, throw clotheslines and suplexes all day long, what does that do for you? What does that do for you? For me, what I love about wrestling is the characters, the stories, everything involved. And when you're one dimensional, there's not a whole lot of story you can play off of that. That's why on TV, you see people thrive, you see people fall, because 9 times out of 10, it's how they can take off and run with what they're given.
So who outside of, because everybody immediately goes to WWE, so I'm gonna try and throw a curveball. Who outside of WWE do you see thrives the most on their character?
Maxwell Jacob Friedman, by far.
Oh, okay, I like that. I like that answer. I'm a mark for MJF, so I can't hate on him.
Absolutely. Now let's take this a step further then, because I know either you're going to ask this question or we're going to come back to this. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Outside, if we're talking about people that aren't on national television all the time, if let's throw AEW out the window as well. Let's go for just indie talent. Carson Drake is by far the person that has taken an idea that he started with on his own when everybody told him this isn't going to work. And he dialed it up to 11 and ran with it and is now an absolute star. That man he is gold. If you have never, I mean, I know you watched that match on
Yeah,
EWA, but
yeah.
if you haven't ever seen any of his other stuff, go check him out. He is phenomenal at what he does.
That might be a guy that I just have to. I'm just gonna probably have to bring him on one day and see and just pick his brain about everything because I was very impressed.
Absolutely.
So, what does this say for your indie career? And the way that I'm saying that is, are you going to just put everything you have into Elite, or are you going to try and still take bookings in other states so that you can make those connections? What are you gonna do?
So I have right about the time COVID was the restrictions were starting to lift and everything. I started traveling pretty heavily. I got good connections in Tennessee, in Indiana, and Ohio, West Virginia, and I started kind of pushing the boundaries outside of Kentucky. I started wrestling everywhere I could. It was 2 3 times a weekend. Um, since I've started Elite Wrestling Alliance, I've slowed down tremendously. While this summer has still been pretty full for the most part, I've slowed down to maybe working one show every week or a couple weeks. Um, some of it has to do with I've got a 2-year-old, so as he
Oh,
grows, I am making sure that I'm spending time with him. And a lot of it has to do with Elite Wrestling Alliance and having that time to be able to, dedicate to it. Um, I definitely still very much so enjoy wrestling. I will continue to wrestle as long as probably my body will let me. But the more I progress, the more this becomes what I hope and know that it will be, the less I'm going to be able to get out and travel. Now, that's not saying that, if I had an opportunity to go to Texas or New Mexico or, somebody was like, hey, come do this show, I would definitely take the opportunity. But I'm definitely not traveling like I was before. It's my appearances are fewer and farther between. I like being able to go and make connections with people. I like being able to go. I love meeting new wrestlers, meeting new people, seeing new areas, new promotions. Um, but as far as that drive that I know a lot of these guys have to just get out as much as possible and make yourself known, make a name for yourself, I'm not quite on that same wagon anymore. My eggs are kind of all in the Elite Wrestling Alliance basket, and that's I think how it will be for a long time, and I'm okay with that. This was always my plan. Um, being a smaller guy and wrestling as much as I have the past couple years. I haven't been doing this very long. I don't mean to sound like I've been doing this for 10, 15 years, but I can already tell the toll that my body has taken from what little I've done, and I know it's only a matter of time before I have to make that decision. How much more of this do I need to take? So this has always been, kind of a fail safe, having the Elite Wrestling Alliance there to where when I'm unable to continue to get out there in front of people, I will still be able to give back. I will still have this will still be here Elite Wrestling Alliance will still be growing. I can pour 1000% into this.
Oh, see, I respect that. I respect that a lot because there people would be afraid. Honestly, they'd still take the bookings or they would still try and network, but you're gonna put everything you have into that, and it gets me excited. I can't explain how excited I am and how much I want to go and watch your product because it's easy to play your part in an interview and it's hard it like I say, it's hard to bullshit a bullshitter. And I can hear just the genuine happiness that you have for this company. And there is no, well, here in a year or two, we might not be successful. It's no, in 5 years, we're going to keep doing this. And in 2 years, I'm going to call you out though. I am. I'm gonna call you out if I see you guys at Mania Week in 2025, I think, when it's in Nashville. I'm
In
calling you out.
Nashville?
I'm calling you out, dude.
Absolutely.
If you run a show, I'm gonna be like, you told me you weren't gonna go there. So I'm gonna call you
Well,
out, dude.
let me tell you, Elite Wrestling Alliance will be in Nashville in some form or fashion. Whether it's me wearing a T-shirt, waving a flag up and down the street, or whether we're doing something in Nashville, there will be an Elite Wrestling Alliance presence for sure.
That's I will be on the other side of the street, brother, and helping you. I will fly out just to do that because I want you guys to thrive. I
Well,
enjoy this.
thank you.
This is why
Absolutely.
I love this. This is why I started this to talk to wrestlers is because I want to know who you guys are as genuine people. Everybody wants to know who you guys are in the ring. And a lot of the time you guys don't get to just be yourselves. You guys have to wear that 24/7. And I from the little experience that I have had in the past before COVID started, it wore people down. And now you guys get to thrive. And so if I have to wear a shirt and wave a flag down the street with you, dude, just for people to know what it is, I'll do that, man. I hope you guys thrive. I hope you guys
Absolutely.
do YouTube and Twitch and maybe one day get your own site open and have the videos there so that you guys get 100% of the revenue. And if you have any questions about any of this, hit me up anytime. Like I said, I prefer friendship over clout. And
Absolutely.
that's I will help you in any way possible, man. I'm very excited to see what all this becomes in say even 6 months. Are you
Absolutely.
are you gonna try and do a Halloween themed show?
The idea has been tossed up. So we are doing the first Saturday of every month. So it would actually, I take that back. We do not have a November show. So we will not have a Halloween themed show. It was tossed up. We made the decision to not have a November show. If you're familiar with Larry D, former Impact star,
Yes.
Larry D, he's getting ready to retire. His retirement show is the first Saturday in November. Gen Next Pro Wrestling, I think it's called Last Stand. And his retirement show is November 4th. So we made the decision to go ahead and take off of that. A lot of the guys are going to work the show. I'll be there supporting. So we have taken off November. So no, there will not be a Halloween show this year. But I am very excited. I'm a big fan of like over extravagant sets and stupid stuff, like what AEW's been doing with like Double or Nothing, where they have the big poker chips and stuff like that. So I'm super excited about being able to do something themed where we can have all the decorations and stuff and the wrestlers. I know a lot of the guys have a good time, dressing up and doing different stuff. So
Hopefully a Christmas or something if you can't do Halloween. Because if you're taking November off,
absolutely,
hopefully maybe a Christmas or something. Do a toy drive,
absolutely,
bro. Oh,
absolutely.
that'd be so cool. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What storylines are you in? What are you doing? Do you have a tag team partner? Um,
I have always been a huge fan of tag teams. When I first started, I was in a tag team with a man by the name of Tony Corral. We ran that for about 2 years. Then I was in a tag team. I was in a faction, if you will. We had tag. It was a tag team and a manager by the name of the New Era. It was Oliver Gunner and myself and Ben Sheeran. Um, and then I'm missing one. So, I was in another faction, the Shot Callers with Juicy Jimmy and Jacob Ratliff. Jacob Ratliff is another person. If you're not familiar with his work, go look him up. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Bare knuckle. I don't know if you're familiar with Paradigm Pro Wrestling.
I have heard of it, yes, but I'm not very familiar with it.
Okay, so Paradigm runs a show. They do a lot of UFWI. Hope I got that acronym correct. It's they have a bunch of there. This I'm not familiar with what they do, but it's a lot of it's more. I'm trying to think of the word. It's just more like a fight, bare knuckle fight. They've got different stuff, that you can do and can't do, kind of like the pure ROH pure rules and stuff.
Oh,
But
that's cool.
Jacob actually, if you oh man, not quite IWTV. If you have IWTV, you need to look up Paradigm Pro Wrestling. You need to look up Jacob Ratliff versus Brogan Finley. It is a phenomenal, like 7-8 minute match, but it is just pure brawling. And Jacob's been doing a lot of that awesome stuff there at EWA as well. He actually has he's been doing a thing called the Fight Club Open Challenge. Knockout or submission only, no rope breaks, no pinfalls, no countouts. It's just bare knuckle fighting. And it's really neat. It's definitely something if you're into that more hard hitting style of wrestling, definitely something to watch. He is awesome doing it. But I was in a group with them. But all that being said, I take that back. I am in a tag team. I'm in a faction right now. I forgot about that. We haven't done anything in a minute. I'm actually in a tag team with Tyler Logan. We are the Allied Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. It's me, him, and a girl by the name of Morgan Jane. And go ahead.
I know her,
You know
and
her.
I'm and
Okay,
I'm
good deal.
so we're gonna mention her a little bit because she told me that she was gonna watch this. Um, Getting to see where she is now and with you guys, I can't thank you enough now, even more that I've met you, that she's gotten this opportunity. I've been friends with her for a very long time. So getting to see the first time I saw you was through her Facebook, and I'm going to be 100% honest. I was a little nervous about this interview. I'm not going to lie, because of your pictures. I'm not gonna lie. You claim to be a small guy, but you give off like Gary Guy energy, dude. So I was very worried. But to see how she's grown in wrestling and the amount of times that she's struggled a bit to get back into it, I'm so happy where she is. And now I can't thank you enough, man. I really can't.
So I'm going to tell a story on her.
Yes.
Um, he she started getting back into wrestling, started coming to wrestling shows in the area, and another friend of hers had posted some pictures from one of the shows, and she sent them to me on Messenger or something, and she tagged me in them, and we started talking about wrestling, and she was like, "Oh, my best friend used to wrestle, but she doesn't anymore," and I was like, "Why not?" So she, went on this, story, and she was like, yeah, she's kind of fell out of touch with it, but she's really, she's kind of getting back into it. She's coming to shows with me and stuff. And so I was like, hold on. So I messaged Morgan and I was like, listen, I know you kind of had a rough start in the wrestling business. But here's what I'm gonna offer you, we're getting ready to start Elite Wrestling Alliance. We've got a great trainer working up there. And just I want you to come, no strings attached, nothing, you don't if you hate it, you never have to come back again. But I want you to come one time and see if that spark for wrestling is still there. And she came in April and she hasn't left. She's been right there ever since. She's done phenomenal. She's picked up so much that, she lost in those couple of years being off. She has learned so much more. She worked all fair season with me. She worked with me. And it's amazing to see how she progressed, from the very first time that she managed me. It was actually myself and Tyler when she managed us. It was, just wide eyed, like, I don't know what I'm doing here. To, fast forward 3 months, 3 months. And the last show we did together was, I guess, last week. And I was like, we were going over everything. And I was like, you got it? She's like, oh, yeah, I got it. I was like, you sure you got it? She's like, yeah, we're good. And she went out there. She has done phenomenally in these 3 months. So I'm so excited to see how she progresses, how she grows as a manager and as a wrestler. The upside is up here for her. So definitely somebody that I know her personally. I know her, but for everybody else listening, definitely somebody to keep an eye on because this is somebody that can come out of left field and just surprise everyone.
Oh, I'm so excited. And so when she started doing this, I was a little nervous seeing you guys and seeing that she was managing you guys because I didn't know how she was gonna fare. But now that you just said that she's like a I can't even say like a chihuahua because they're kind of scary, dude. I'm gonna be 100% honest, bro.
Hey, she can be scary. She can be scary.
Oh, I know. So I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Um, Probably one of the last things I'm gonna ask is myself. I trained for about a year with a company out in Texas and then had to stop due to, this evil thing called the pandemic and
Uh-huh.
didn't have the spark in me. And now, after doing interviews and linking up with one of the people that I did, I'm given the opportunity to go back to train. What would you say to somebody who has never debuted? I trained, I worked backstage, I did security, but I am still nervous. I'm more nervous now than I was back then. Do you have any advice?
I was told this from somebody that has been wrestling for 20 plus years. They said, kid, if you're not nervous when you're behind that curtain, something's wrong and you need to quit. I still, to this day, get butterflies. Now, granted, I don't like that feeling before I go out. I really like being confident. So a lot of times I distract myself with as much as I can, whatever it may be. A lot of times, instead of thinking about what I'm about to do when I go out, I get conversations with other people in the locker room until I'm ready to go out, and then I go. But the nervousness will never not be there. Something that I tell myself, that I've told Morgan 1,000 times, that I've told anybody that is younger in the wrestling business, confidence is key. And it's not just a fun saying that you can, be confident in yourself. You have to believe 1,000% when you are going through that curtain that you are the greatest performer. And that does not mean that you should be arrogant and treat everybody else lower than you, but you have got to believe in yourself deep down that you are exactly who you are. You are capable of doing whatever it is you are out there to do. And there's no reason that you would not be put in that position to do what you were doing, whether it be refereeing, managing, whatever it is. You would not be in that position if those people did not think you were capable of it. So if they think you're capable, if you think you're capable, go out there and do it. That is what gets me through everything. That's what I tell anybody else that, is nervous or is worried. Confidence goes 1,000 ways, and it can only go up. It can only go up.
All right, cool. So when are you starting your academy? Because you know how to talk to people like you're a teacher.
Whenever I gain enough time and knowledge to where I think I know everything. No, I do. I love being able to give what little bit of knowledge that I have to other people. I love the ability to help people find what they love in wrestling. I'm not the person. I don't have the knowledge and the experience to be able to go out there and give you all the little things that make wrestling what it is. All I can do is give you my experiences and tell you what I have learned and how I get through things and what people have told me as I've been wrestling to make me what I am. So it's part of what I love, and it's something I think that is such a driving factor with me loving to promote, me loving running this company, is I can give back what I've learned and what I am continuing to learn on to everybody else.
I'm just gonna add that into a little compilation. So seeing like this isn't the first time I've asked anybody that, but everybody's answer is different and the same at the same time. So you had somebody, a gentleman who just debuted. I got to interview him before he debuted. His name is Zilla Fatu, the son of Umaga. I got to interview him. His words were always be nervous. You always want to be better. But that's because he's part of a very long history in his family. And
Absolutely.
he's striving to be the best. Brooke Havoc, which I don't know, do you know who that is or do you not?
The name rings a bell. I'm not 100% sure.
All Elite Wrestling, Cody's student. That's where she's been. I asked her what advice you would give, and she said that you're gonna fall in love with it instantly. As much of time as you put in, you're gonna get out of it what you put into it. And so to hear that, to always be confident even if you're nervous, I love every answer that I've been given. I just need to write like a book about just the quotes of each of you guys because it's always unique. It's always fun. But you got a pro wrestling tease for Elite?
I have a pro. I don't, not for Elite. That's something that's coming. I don't even have a T-shirt for Elite Wrestling Alliance yet. But that is something coming very, very soon. It'll be up on Pro Wrestling Tees. I'm in time. In time, we're gonna have our own website where you can also purchase it. We'll also be that we'll have the shop Facebook and Instagram links and everything. Very, very soon that will be up. I personally have a Pro Wrestling Tees store that will be updated very, very soon. We have one new shirt that's going to be debuting in a couple weeks. And then we've got another one that is in the process of getting done. So there should be 2 new designs on there as well, as long as the Elite Wrestling Alliance tee that by the first of the year will be up.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see the website. Definitely, if you need any help with that, just let me know. But what are your social media handles? How can everybody get a hold of you if anybody wants to give Elite a try? Let everybody know.
All right, Elite Wrestling Alliance obviously is Elite Wrestling Alliance on Facebook. You can't miss us. It's a little blue logo that looks like a wrestling ring. Instagram is Elite Wrestling Alliance 1, if I'm not mistaken. Again, if you look up Elite Wrestling Alliance, you can't miss us. It's the little blue logo that looks like a ring. Twitter. Oh, this is bad. I should have wrote this one down. Elite Wrestling Alliance does have a Twitter. I do not remember the Twitter handle right now. We post very, 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 very infrequently on Twitter because your boy is like non-existent on Twitter. But we will be getting a better Twitter presence soon. With that being said, Adrian Alexander is also on all the social medias. Um, Adrian Alexander Wrestler on Instagram. Of course, it is Adrian Alexander on Facebook. And I don't remember my Twitter handle because I don't use Twitter. But I'm on there. If you can find me, I'm on there. I tweet once a year. Somebody tags me in something every now and then. And that's about it. Go follow both pages. I post a lot on my page, or well, less than I should, but I post quite a bit on my page. Elite Wrestling Alliance is always updating with new stuff. You can also catch Elite Wrestling Alliance on YouTube, brand new, one video down. We've got a lot more to go. I am so very, very excited about what kind of content we've got coming on the YouTube, and it's only going to grow and expand as my lovely production team, headed by Peyton Bowman, continues to grow that. But catch us on all of that. Catch me. I'm on YouTube here and there as well. So if you want to watch a match or two, it's on the interwebs.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so that you guys can always stay in touch. And who knows, we might have Adrian on in a couple of months just to get a good update. I need that Christmas match, dude. I need something. We are definitely gonna have to do this again just to see
Absolutely.
how you guys grew. And once you guys get big, please don't forget me. Please don't. I want to help you guys as much as I can. All right. We'll catch you in the next video.